On this episode of In Dad's Garage, we're going to be transforming this into this. Nice! Guys, welcome back to the channel of In Dad's Garage. You might have noticed we're not in the garage, we're in Dad's house today. So recently I've been doing a lot of work on the RS6, a lot of mechanical work, a lot of upgrades, and my wife's been going, when are you going to start doing some of those jobs you've promised in and around the house? So today, we're back in the house, we're going to crack on with some of those jobs. And because it's Mothering Sunday tomorrow, I thought what better present from me to you, my beautiful wife, than making you your very own dedicated slidey shoe closet drawers. You're such a lucky lady. So if you're lucky enough to have a cupboard under the stairs, or a closet under the stairs, then most of you will know it's a dumping ground for shit. You've got iron boards, you jump in there and you can't get out. You've got irons that you're trying to pull out, but you can't get out properly, and then the wires are all tangled around the iron board. You've got hoover attachments that you can never find when you need them. You can never get the hoover out because it hangs on the door, like this. And then God forbid I want to find a pair of shoes. Where's the brown ones? You've got shoes in here like this. And then I don't want the trainers. I want the brown ones. They're in here somewhere. Yeah, I've got them there. And then we go in here. I can always find her flip-flops though. And we've got hats. Plenty of hats. Loads of hats. Another hat. And then sometimes we get in, there might be a mop, more hoover attachments, random bag, loads of CDs. I mean, who has a CD player anymore? What always happens is when you're deep in it, you come back out, oh, nightmare. So in today's video, we're going to fix this. Come on. Well, that escalated quickly. Wish I hadn't have done that now. Right guys, enough monkeying around now. Let's get this cupboard cleared, get all this junk out, and then I'll bring you down and I'll show you exactly what we're going to do here, because the first proper job is to get this wall out. So let's crack on. All cleaned out now, as you can see. Loads of space. Right, next job guys. Let's take out this wall. Oh yeah! Right, baby. Not just a workshop accessory. Oh yeah!
Here's Johnny!
Glory hole. Yoo-hoo! Nice. And that, guys, is how you get them out. Easy.
Walk out that door. You're on your own, kid.
They always come eventually.
But there is someone in your head cutting through the noise. Feel the world disappear.
Oh, we're working our way through the DeWalt tools. Not sponsored by DeWalt.
Always have been. You're on your own. You're on your own. No one's there. When you feel the
There you go, guys. That's how we make quick work of that little. Alright, let's get cleaned up.
through your window, through your skin. You and your shadow holding hands, making future plans. Let go and you'll go mad. You're on your own. You always have been.
So as you can see, guys, we've taken out that wall, both the internal, the external, and the one that just bordered across there. So now we've got all this extra space that we didn't have before, which is great. So that in itself can be one drawer worth of shoes that comes out. And then we've got this whole other section here that we can pull out as another drawer. And then we'll still have the cupboard for accessibility. So my thinking is, I'm going to keep this cupboard, but maybe an extra foot's worth. So maybe just about here. Oh well, Alexa's on one. Alexa, shut up. So I'm thinking, well, maybe bring the line to about here so we've got that much extra of the cupboard, so when I come in there's a little bit extra here and we can have some shelves across here. And then what I'm going to do is create like a unit that goes from here and goes down that into that triangle recess there. And what we'll do is we'll do a drawer from there to there that comes out, and a drawer from there to there that comes out. So then we've got all this usable storage space, which will be easy accessible, and then we've got the cupboard, which will make all nice with some extra shelves along here. Right, time to do some joinery and crack on. Right guys, moment of truth is this. Gonna fit in there. We're about to find out. Why I need bother. Couple of buckets. Oh, cosy. This is what I love about having this all day for. It's nice having a shiny RS6, but you can't beat having an old estate just to go to B&Q, get timber in, go to the skip, take your rubbish there. So convenient, so practical. Get all sorts in it, it's like a TARDIS. Anyway, I'll see you back at the ranch. Oh yes, like a glove. Nice.
Silly you, what did you think? He stayed for life 'cause he bought you a drink. She'll skip the seas, hey pretty please. It's true you know how to bring the heat. Oh miss one, but there's never no
Right guys, so we've done a few cuts now. We're starting to make the shape of the unit. It's going to slide into the stairs. What I need to do now is get things positioned. It'll be a little bit difficult on my own. I've got my new tool, my nail gun. So I'm going to nail these boards together, roughly get the shape, add a bit of extra support so I can manoeuvre it, take it back into the house. We'll slide it into the stairs and then we'll see how it's looking then. Right, wish me luck. I'm just going to put a bit of wood glue down one edge before I put the nails through. Right guys, first thing I've just realised, I need to rip another bit off this because I had to take a notch out of the bottom side for the skirting board. So if I staple this in, I'm going to be banging against that skirting board on the inside of the cupboard. So let me just rip 10mm off the end of this and we'll start again. See if we can send this first nail home. Lovely. Right, that was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. I think I need a little bit more. Turn the air up on the compressor a little bit more because they're quite long nails to go through these two 18mm MDF boards. So there's two there that just need a little tapping with a hammer. I'm pretty pleased with that. See if we can get this long piece on now. So the next bit I got now is these two 45-degree angle cuts here to join this end, which puts a nice 90-degree angle to it. So we'll put some glue down there and we'll fire a few nails through. Just realised I haven't got this dead cat on, so it might be a bit windy for you guys, so I'll put it on now for you. Right, I'm just going to put some glue on the edge of here and then we'll fire a few nails in and get this long piece on. Shit myself there. So much easier with that. Just going to check to make sure that's square. Up and bang on. So what I've got now is this second piece, which will go in down here. And we just need to make sure that's square before we glue it and nail it in. And then finally I will do a little end piece for that. But it's easy to do that once all these other bits are in. So we'll crack on with that now. Possibly not the most orthodox way of making these cabinets, but I ain't no professional cabinet maker. I'm just a DIYer. Just drawn a line down here so I know where to fire the pins. Just gonna have a go and stand this up now, hopefully it doesn't all fall to bits. Oh yes, right. Got more tacks in here. Right, pleased with that. So I do need to put a support on this end bit. I do need to put a one in the middle. Before I do that, I'm going to put a back side on just to give it support so it's not going to collapse, and then I can carry it back and test fit it under the stairs. Alright, let's crack on. Right, so we'll stick some glue down both edges here, and again we'll drive some more nails home with the nail gun. Right, we'll check that square on both sides, and then we'll hammer the rest of the nails home, and then the next thing to do is put the back on. That last nail just fired off over there, so I'm going to wear the safety goggles. Should have been wearing them all the time, really. Nice. Well, there you go. It happens sometimes. Comes in twos. Nice. That should do it. Just need to try and get this bad boy inside now. Not quite sure how I'm going to do that. I'll get back to you. Right guys, you're never going to believe this. I've made that unit 81.2 centimetres wide. In my door frame is 81.5 centimetres wide. And with the door still on, I've only got a max opening of 78 centimetres. So I'm going to have to take my front door off the hinges to try and squeeze that through with about 3 mil to spare. What a pain in the arse. Mental. So guys, the first job today is cut a blanking plate for this side here. This will blank off this side, and as I mentioned earlier on, we'll build some shelves that come off for this on the inside of the cupboard. The first job is measure this, we'll go outside, we'll cut it, and then we'll bring it back in and see if it fits. Right, so I'm just checking this is all square and that this lines up nice and flush with the cabinet, and it does. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop a couple of screws in this side to pin this in. I'm going to use screws rather than the nail gun just in case I need to take this back out again. Otherwise if I put nails in through the nail gun it's just going to be a nightmare after, which I probably will do, have to take this off. So we'll do that now. That's in place, and then we can line up and just test fit the skirting board in this architrave just to see if it still looks good once this is on. Right, let's crack on. And there we go guys, so that's the trims. The original trims back in place. That gives us a good idea of how it'll potentially look when everything's back together. So rather than redo the skirting board, I've decided to cut 100mm length of MDF, 18mm, to pop in there to replace the skirting board. Then the skirting board trim will go nicely back down there to cover that gap, and then when that's all on, the doors will come and fit close like that, and that'll just give us a nice little gap, so there's a nice neat step down, and that'll frame it all in nicely along with the slight overhang from the architrave up there. So really pleased with that. So I'll crack on with this, and then next up we'll start making the drawers, and I've also drawn first blood. Right guys, I'm just making the shelves for these. I've got the wife's boots in. I've just cut another length across here, and I roughly measured it up where you've still got hand access to the boots. I've drawn the lines around the shelf, and I've just gone in with a straight edge to make sure the lines are straight on each side, so we haven't got a wonky shelf. Doesn't need to be 100% plumb straight level because it's only putting shoes on, but we like to do a good job. So we'll nail that in, and then we'll take it back inside and test fit it. Nice. All right, let's put some pins in. Right guys, so it's a new day, new haircut. Let me show you where we've got up to and what we're going to do next. So here are our shoe storage cabinets. So we've got both of them made now. We've got a big space here to put loads of shoes and boots. Then we've got two shelves, one there and one there for the little dingo man shoes. But you can still put some big shoes on as well. For the cupboard, we've got a boot drawer. So this is for the wife's boots and other general stuff that we just want to chuck in there. But again, two nice drawers, one for there and one for there. So what have I done off camera? I've installed the sliders. So these are the sliding mechanisms. So I got these off Amazon. I'll leave a link in the description below for the ones I've used. So these are 100 kilogram load bearing, which is more than enough for those cabinets and a few pairs of high heels. On the side of the sliders, I've also just put some MDF pieces. So the bottom of these drawers will rest on the top of here, and then we'll put a couple of screws in there to fix them to the sliders. So when they're in, they'll just slide in and out really nicely and close nicely. So let's get these drawers connected to those sliders and I'll show you them in action. Let's crack on. Okay, so we've got those bad boys in and they're working really nicely. So they slide out and they slide back in. Super duper. Alright, next job is to start and get this looking a bit tidier. So I'm going to put this architrave trim back on and the one down there. And then once that's all boxed back in, covering all of these edges, we can then think about doing the drawer fronts. One thing to mention down here, what I did decide to do in the end, is I got rid of that skirting board. I did a skirting board delete and I put a square trim down here. So I've trimmed it down off camera so it's low enough to get the bits of MDF to pass through. And what we'll do is the drawer fronts will come all the way down and they'll rest about 5 mil above there, but they'll be flush with that skirting board. And then we'll have a little bit of a trim, edge trim that we'll put on there just to finish it off to make it look nice. Right, let's crack on with getting this looking tidied and boxed back in. So just as I was getting this all lined up and matching the paint cracks, I came down here and I realised once this trim's back on, the drawer's gonna catch just at that corner there, so we're gonna have to trim a little bit off the corner of that there of the drawer so it's got clearance. Otherwise, if I'd put the nails in there, that drawer would have been stuck. Okay, so we're gonna cut this a little bit off here. It's not much, but it's enough to stop the drawer open and cause us a few headaches, so we'll do that now. Right guys, so we've got our laser now shining perfectly just along the bottom of that architrave. You can see it's shining perfectly just under there and goes all the way down. So I reckon we can take this off now and offer up the boards. Right guys, this is how it's looking. So I've got a few spaces at the bottom just to give me clearance when the drawer closes. I've got a spacer there in between one door or drawer front and the other, and then a spacer there just so we've got clearance when it closes. Right, I'm going to double check this one more time. I'm going to take the boards off. I'm going to put the trim back up just to make sure, doubly make sure that the laser level hasn't moved. We'll draw the lines and then we'll cut them and see how they fit. Exciting. So as you can see guys, this is the semi-drafted, mocked up product. So we've got the blanking board here, which fits nicely in the corner. We've then got the first door here with a nice 5mm gap, and then we come along, we've got another nice 5mm gap there, and then finally at the end here we've got another 5mm gap where that spacer is. They're all butt up flush and very nice to the architrave, and at the bottom we've got a little bit of space there for the drawers to come out and slide out. So the next thing to do is to fix them, which might be a little bit of a challenge. I'll have a think about how I do it and then I'll let you know. So I was going to show you how to put the doors on, but somehow this Muppet managed to film everything else in super slow motion with no sound. So let's fast forward straight to showing you the finished result. Come on. Nice! So here we go guys, this is the finished result. So we've added a lick of paint, we've refitted all the trims and the floor skirting trim, but we've now got two functional understair shoe drawers, which as you can see organise the shoes so much more nicely than before in what was the chaos of the understair cupboard. So these drawers have these push to release latches, so you push them in and they pop out, which is what pushes the drawers out, and then they push back in nicely with a little magnet that keeps them closed. And we've now got a lovely understair cupboard storage unit with a nice blanking plate here and nice gaps between each of the drawers. It's nice and uniformed all the way around. And just to top it off, we've also now got an organised cupboard under the stairs with an automatic light that comes on, charging for the Hoover, and a rack for the ironing board with a little shelf for the iron to hide up in the corner. And then we've repurposed our storage unit and drawers so we can put all of the bits and bobs in here, the bags and the hats and the likes. So I'm sure you'll agree, that was quite a nice little DIY build, albeit a one that took best part of 2 days maybe, and just under £200 worth of materials. So I don't think that's a bad job for a weekend and a few £100 to get a much nicer, more organised storage space under the stairs for the shoes. But best of all, my wife is very pleased. So if you like this video and you want to see more jobs in and around the house and in Dad's garage like that, please hit the subscribe button, give me a like, share it to your friends, help me push those videos a little bit further, and I'll carry on creating quirky content, quirky DIY content like this. Thanks for watching, I'll see you in the next one.